Thank you to the people who are supporting me on Ko-fi. You guys are keeping me alive. The animatronics of the Fazbear Entertainment Mega Pizzaplex were quite advanced. They had personality-based random event generators and an algorithm that made them be able to form something akin to genuine friendship. Not just pre-programmed responses to customer behavior. Because of that, the machines between each other were quite close. Their friendships only influenced by their base limitation settings. For example, Freddy and Chica's friendship would never go below friends and never above besties. These limiters were important, as it would be a marketing nightmare to have to deal with the glam rock band breaking up because of a dispute. The owner of the Pizzaplex called this controlled freedom. However, there was one problem with these settings, and that was the simple fact that due to the random nature of these, the animatronics could and would have these friendship moments during the night, when there weren't customers around to witness them. Sure, it could be something as simple as Freddy vs. Monty golfing, but it could be a once-in-a-lifetime event too, like Chica complaining about fried chicken to Freddy, who then comforts her with Fazbear-friendly responses, designed to make the competition look bad. The marketing team was incredibly upset that that scenario actually happened. This was one of the many reasons the animatronics were supposed to be in their green rooms of dedicated areas during the nighttime, as the machines couldn't generate events when they weren't close to each other. Though tonight there was a problem. The night guard was lazily sitting in one of the offices when all lights in the Pizzaplex suddenly turned off, and the loud clank of metal indicated that all security doors had opened. Meaning, the Plex was out of energy. A complete and utter blackout. So the man simply sighed, grabbed his flashlight and his phone, before making his way to the entrance to call the engineers to fix it. Meanwhile, however, the machines were free to roam. The blackout had frightened you, as you were up in the rafters, gliding your nimble body across the pipes and iron bars, like an octopus attempting to climb out of its tank. Obviously, this was a feat impossible to humans. But thankfully you weren't one. You were the newly introduced security puppet. For reasons unknown to most adults, the security puppet line of animatronics was always super popular with children and teens alike. Their uncanny, almost goth appearance being super attractive to the more edgy crowd. And their somewhat clownish facial features, with the funny little belts, was just entertaining enough for toddlers to enjoy. You had been constructed to be additional help for security guards, a sort of mobile camera system that positively interacted with children. Your body was made up of heavily segmented parts, allowing you snake-like movements for your arms and legs. There were even additional seams in your chest, which was vaguely feminine-shaped. Your endoskeleton was entirely covered by thin black polyester cloth that was sleek and somewhat shiny. And water repellent. So technically you could be fully submerged in water and not break. It even covered your hands and fingers. However, to make you look more like a puppet, a sort of shell glove had been sewn in on your hands. Your head and face had been specifically designed to give you a fully movable mouth. It allowed for more expressions. It itself looked like an older puppet design, with only very faded pink for your cheeks, and a black dot slightly above your upper lip to make it look like you had a little mole. The rest of your face was completely porcelain white, like your hands. And on your head you had a sleeping cap attached to you with magnets, so it could be removed. A bell hung from the cap's tip, as well as the buttons on your chest being belts too. A rather strange aspect of you was the fact that you didn't have a voice box. Instead, you interfaced with customer Fair's watches and communicated through the instant messaging app on it. Additionally, you are also connected to all security cameras of the Pizzaplex, making you quickly search for missing children. Thematically, you had been introduced as the girlfriend of the daycare attendant. Both versions of him had been set to quite a high friendship value with you. Why yes, this was mostly for customers. Its direct usage was mostly so that you had a dedicated space you'd return to during scheduled blackouts when energy was rerouted to supercharge the animatronic charging stations. But this one was different. This blackout, it wasn't schedule. It was unique, something you hated. Slowly you slipped down the pipe to the floor. It was weird not being able to see everything. You were focused. Like a ghost, you slipped through the darkness, the light of your eyes glowing a bright red, allowing you to see just a bit into the darkness. Safety Procedure Protocol 24 suggested the immediate securing of customers, but that was unwarranted. It was night. Protocol 36 suggested the search for the night guard. However, you have been given the unique command by the night guard to, quote, "leave me the fuck alone," end quote. This only left the animatronics to be sought out. Your emotions requested the immediate search for Moon, the daycare attendant's personality, whenever it got dark. You began moving quickly through the Pizzaplex. However, as you were at work, the other animatronics decided that this is finally the time they initiated an old plan of theirs. A promise Freddy made to Bonnie. And an idea Chica loved. And something Monty refused to be kept out of. A glam rock slumber party. However, as Chica and Monty sat down on Freddy's bed, both Freddy and Roxy had an almost similar idea. "Where's the puppet?" asked Roxy, earning her confused looks.
Yes, actually, I myself was about to ask about the daycare attendant,"
said Freddy chipper.
"This is a chance that will never come back, and you want to bother with these other over-celebrated staff bots,"
complained Monty.
"They are part of the Pizzaplex just as much as us. They're intelligent. After all, I watched the puppet collect many children who had been gotten lost, even before the guards noticed. And the daycare attendant, I think he deserves to be one of us. He has been here almost as long as we have."
Thankfully, you were already in the daycare when the Glamrocks showed up there. You were cradling the moon-faced animatronic like a baby in your arms, as Moon, despite the night guard's instructions, wanted to rush after them, and you could not allow that. So you had wrapped your body around his, tightening your arms and legs around his wrists and ankles as tight as you could. Sun really enjoyed it when you treated him like that. And Moon, well, while his programming said he likes this treatment, he refused to accept the enjoyment of it. You found it absolutely endearing.
"Please, Bear, free me from this prison of limbs."
Security puppet?
Asked the bear carefully.
Would you like, to come with us, and of course the daycare attendant joins as well. We're having a slumber party.
You look down at Moon.
I will join you, but only if she lets go.
Freddy now looked at you, and you blinked.
Would you please let go of Moon so we can have a slumber party?
You tilted your head, and Freddy understood. The bear animatronic sighed, and then made Moon swear to not make a fuss once he is in Freddy's green room. And so, you let go. Ah, finally, sighed Freddy, pleased. All of his friends were here. Roxy and Chica were standing in front of his mirror, using the lights built into their eyes to see and do their hair. Moon and Monty were hushing secrets to each other, and in the corner, motionless, staring at Moon, was you.
Oh, Afton bless this mess,
chuckled Freddy. Soon, slumber party games followed. Pin the head on the Freddy, which, interestingly enough, Chica was the best at. A game of Uno, which ended in Monty breaking Freddy's table. The outbreak of emotions making you jump and press yourself tightly against the ceiling for 10 minutes straight out of fear. And finally, a game that Roxy seemingly had been waiting for the entire night to suggest. Truth of Coin Flip, she called it. It was played like this. Each animatronic rolled a dice to determine the order. For example, Freddy rolled a 4, Chica a 2, Monty a 6, Roxy a 3, Moon rolled a 1, and you rolled another 4. The resulting tie was broken via coin flip. Freddy won, essentially making you number 5. The higher the number, the sooner the player would begin, and after each round the dice were rolled again to switch up the order. When it was an animatronic's turn, they would ask truth or dare. Then they would decide if truth would be applied on heads or tails. The animatronic who came before would then give either a dare or a truth depending on the coin's depiction. The game went on and on, as the truths were not really randomly generated and quite literally were programmed in wiki trivia. Something great for customers, but a little pointless due to them all being machines. Though they currently had no internet connection, so technically they couldn't look up these trivia facts. A little air of mystery was therefore created. However, your truths were a little more, cumbersome, due to the fact that you couldn't speak. And the lack of internet made it so that you could not use the messaging app. But for that, Freddy had a great idea. He gave you a pen and allowed you to use his whiteboard.
I'm bored. I demand more action,
shouted Monty. The dares all had been minor feats. For example, Roxy performing a cheerleading dance from the previous spring break event. Chica having to empty her artificial stomach from that day, which revealed 4 slices of pizza, an empty Fizzy Fast cup, and a shoe. But none of these things entertained the alligator. To him, this was just normal shenanigans. The robots got up to on a daily basis. This was an event. This was special. This was a slumber party. So just for them to do something spicy, I guess he needed to do it. And so, when it was his turn to give Moon a dare, he shouted,
"Okay, attendant. The coin says dare, so..."
He put his large hand on the robot's shoulder, who shuddered afraid, and angrily he shoved the daycare attendant towards you. You just barely managed to catch him before he fell.
Hey, what gives?
Shouted Moon, but Monty had already walked over to Freddy's backroom closet, prying it open with his claws.
For the next 7 minutes, she does whatever she wants to you.
The 2 girl animatronics squeaked excited, calling what Monty was requesting 7 minutes in heaven, apparently. You didn't have internet access, so you couldn't look it up. But 7 minutes long, you could do whatever you wanted with your boyfriend. Even though Moon protested, you dragged him into the closet. This was perfect.
I'll never forgive you for this, alligator!
He shouted before Monty slammed the door shut. Moon was kneeling on the ground, shivering, his endoskeleton teeth shattering in anxious anticipation. While you had retreated into the shadows, your red eyes staring him down.
Well, what are you waiting for?
He barked at you. You tilted your head. Your lips were curled up into an almost manic smile. And then, without warning, you jumped, leaping on top of him, forcing him to the ground. And for once, he didn't resist.
I'm only doing this because the Glamrock asked me nicely.
Your body snaked around him, entangling his arms and legs tightly, before your hands took hold of his round face. Possessively, you kissed him all over his face, creating small static crackles and electroshocks that lit up your face in the dangerous blue light. Sparks were quite literally flying between the two of you. That's how passionate and thorough you were. He was yours, completely defenseless. You snaked your body beneath his, your hands caressing his torso as he groaned, fingers taking hold of the button on his chest. You tugged on it, which made the machine moan. He was always sensitive there, unlike Sun. Sun's sensitive areas were his spikes. Just dragging your fingers over his head would make the machine melt in your touch.
Please don't touch me there,
he begged. But you understood that still he was at your mercy. Boldly your fingers now reached for his pants, and Moon closed his eyes.
I'll have to save me,
he begged. But you were too determined to explore your boyfriend's body, to be influenced by him being a little fuzzy. Desperately you attempted to send him an "I love you" message, but still no connection, which enraged you a little.
You're getting a little tight there,
he complained as a shell creaked under your pressure, but you didn't listen. Instead, the noises emboldened you. And soon, what you were about to do definitely wasn't meant for the eyes of customers.